What's up, y'all? It's your boy Trigger Mike. It is Wednesday, June 7th. Jeez, it's June already, 2023. We are back again with another high episode of the Trigger Mike Show on the greatest network on YouTube, which is the Lapeef Network. Give it up, give it up. If you are just tuning in, please make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm. Let people know this is what you are watching to get you through the end of your workday, and I appreciate y'all for doing so. If you are just tuning in with us, all of our viewers nationwide and international, we appreciate you. Make sure you come in and hit that like button. If you are checking us out for the first time, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can see other content that we have for you on the Lapeef Network. All types of content, day or night. We also have clips to share with you, stuff that you can also participate in. So please hit that subscribe button so you can see all we have to offer on this great network. If you are a loyal subscriber to the Lapeef Network, what I need you to do right now is share this out to the people that are watching. Share this out to the people who may not be watching and let them know this is what is getting you through your workday. People, put your earbuds in at work because this is not always safe for work talk, right? Put your earbuds in, share this out. You can hit a little button that says share. Share this in the text, share this on Instagram, share this on Facebook, WhatsApp, GroupMe, any other chat that you may have, especially the moms today, because we're not going to go where you think we're going to go with this, but I want more women to participate in these conversations as it pertains to what we're talking about, and we'll get more on that in a second. Shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley, 30% off along with a free gift. The link is in the description. Father's Day is here soon, y'all, so that is my recommendation for something for you to get for every man in your life, your husband, your boyfriend, your brother, your cousin, anybody who you want to admire as a father, either to you or somebody they have been as a father in general. I think uncomplicated skin care for men by way of Tej Hanley is a good gift to get them. I love gifts that put me on. I love experiences, right? Don't get me things. I'm paid. I can buy myself a lot of shit. So don't buy me anything. Don't buy me any ties. My style is very specific. Don't buy me a tie. I'm not gonna wear it. I don't know. I don't know a woman that can buy a fly tie. I've gotten all ties that I don't like. So don't buy ties. Don't buy anything like that. Put a man on. If you notice that he doesn't pay particular attention to his skincare, trust me, men like to look good too. We like our skin to be vibrant, and sometimes those are things that we need to be put on to. So skincare, once I started getting involved in it, once I started getting these razor bumps cleared up under here and found something that worked for me, I really enjoy my skincare regimen. And this is an uncomplicated skincare regimen for you to share with other people, especially the men in your life. So once again, shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley. The link is in the description for you to get that promo. All right. That's a great Father's Day gift, and I do recommend that. Support the show. All right. If you want to support the show, make sure you send a super chat. We always appreciate that. These productions do cost money. And like I said before, I'm on a lot of productions, y'all. I'm on a lot of productions. And y'all love to trick on women. So y'all better show your brother Trigger Mike some support, because my game ain't y'all think y'all can take my game for free, but go to a bunch of other ladies' podcasts just so you can watch their lips move as they read y'all podcasts. I don't appreciate that. Show support to your brothers just as you do your sisters whom you can't even sleep with. That's why I keep sending those super chats. But show some support to your brothers. That's my expectation of you, because I would support you the same way. So you can support the show by sending a super chat. And if you are watching after the broadcast is over, you can send a super thanks. I actually see people doing that in the comments now. Please participate. Leave comments on this so we know what y'all are thinking, what y'all talking about, and how you can react to the content that we create on this great network. I know JR reads that. All right. I definitely read the stuff from my show and any show that I am a part of. So yeah, leave a comment, send a super thanks if you want to show your support, which I know you do. People say that we don't support our own people. I believe that is completely incorrect. We do support, and I'm telling you the ways that you can show your support. Who we got in the chat so I can give a shout out this great afternoon? What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Trigger Mike Show. Quincy, what's going on? Kinder, how you doing? How you doing? That is you got a lengthy speech, soliloquy in there. All right. Frenchie, my man, 757 in the building, hometown. What's going on? My man, True Table. What's up? You ain't been up in a while. Make some time for us, Chief. We always love to speak to you, love your point of view. Please come through. Red Lipstick Vibes, what's going on? What's up? What's up? Salute Jordan's World. What's up? MS Best. Ed Hill. Always in the building, always supporting. Omega Dreads Gaming Channel. What's up? What's up? Oh, I see y'all are going to get in on this topic. Y'all got a lot to say. I like that. This is just some of the stuff that's percolating in my mind, but we're going to get to it. Appreciate that $2 super chat from my man Frenchie. All right. My man said you getting razor bumps. You getting old. Yes, I am getting old, but I've been had a razor bump problem since like 20, 24, 25. Joining the military, they started making us use. I never shave with an actual razor. That stuff messed me up. If you don't know the direction you're supposed to be shaving, so I line myself up now, and I know the direction to shave. In fact, I did that on like Sunday or Saturday. I don't have a single razor bump. So it's a lot of education that men don't have, especially black men, about their skincare, and they need to get that education. Shave in the right direction. Do not shave too close because your hair is curly and you'll make it sharp and it'll curl back and give you ingrown hairs. And also, if you're using face wash, remember your skin type is different. So oil free, your skin already produces its own oil. Don't add extra oil to it. So all of your face wash needs to be oil free. Just a quick tip from Trigger Mike. All right, y'all, let's get into it, man. What is our topic today? Our topic is, are modern women bad mothers? Now, I don't want y'all to think this is something that's necessarily disparaging women or anything like that. And I know what you're thinking. I already know what you're going to say. You're like, hey, Trigger Mike, why are all your topics centered around women? The answer is simple. Men have not changed. If you agree with me, put a 1 in the chat. Women keep talking about men and what men are doing and what men aren't doing and all of that. Men have not changed. At least not in a significant enough way. Men have not changed since the beginning of time. We require the same things. We want the same things. Same stuff makes us horny. We hungry. All we really need is peace, sex, and sports. Like, we are extremely simple and easy to please. And that has not changed. We have not changed. Y'all have changed. So if y'all want to understand why you're always the topic of discussion, is that if we are to create a brave new world, we have to tackle the problems that are in front of us. We have to tackle and try to tame the changes that have happened and create a new style of behavior and a way to move forward. And all of those changes are centered around women, not men. I'm telling y'all, I really thought about it because I like to do topics where tomorrow's topic is, are modern men bad fathers? And let me tell you, I even thought about it. So if I was going to title this episode today or tomorrow's episode, are modern men bad fathers? The answer would be no. Let me tell you why. I asked the question and I answered it. Ask and answer. Quick. The qualities and characteristics that exist within good fathers are still the same. We have not changed. You see what I did there? I thought about it. The qualities and characteristics that exist within good fathers. What makes up a good father has not changed since the beginning of time. It has not changed. The men that exhibit those characteristics are still today recognized as good fathers. Zero tolerance. You say that's the problem. And I heard that, and we can actually debate that. Because I usually say that. I said men have not changed. And if women want to come forward and say that's a bad thing, we can absolutely have that discussion. But remember, you still live under the protection, provision, creation that men have provided for you. And any change, as we can see in men, is a bad thing. Because if men change, they're going from being these masculine, dominant, respectful, orderly figures into this BS we see out here today. Do you want your men wearing skirts? Yeah, that's men changing. What are men going to change into if we aren't men? We are I don't want to say it like we're gods, but we are the supreme beings that walk on this earth. There ain't nowhere else to go when you're at the top. So if men are going to change, quote unquote, we're going to change into lesser things. People who want to not rise up to the responsibilities that we have, i.e., women. A large part of that group of men that want to be women want to escape the responsibilities of being a man. Do you see what I did there? Do you see why that's not a good thing? Men changing isn't a good thing. The women who benefit most in the world want men to be exactly who they are. They spend all of their time and energy making sure the men in their life, their sons, their cousins, their brothers, their husbands, and fathers stay and maintain the level of intensity, ferocity, focus, and masculinity they already have. Only Western women are trying to change men. Is that a success? Yes or no? Chat, tell me. Have modern women in the West changed men for the better? Has anything dealing with men and change, has it been good in the West? Yes or no? So we can debate that all day. We can debate that all day long if you want to. Please come up. We shall debate if you'd like. Nothing dealing with change and men is good. You want men to be exactly what we were designed to be. Play up those strengths. You don't want us to change at all. All right. So the men that exhibit those characteristics are still recognized as good fathers. Now, for those of y'all that are saying, oh no, look at the men. Look at the men. Look at the men that are out here today not taking care of business. I know that's what's on y'all mind. You can let me know. Let me know. Because some of y'all are saying false. But this is the question I pose back to you. Please remember that every man that is a father is not supposed to be one. Every man that is a father is not supposed to be one. Since the beginning of time, only a select group of men were supposed to have the honor of legacy bestowed upon them. Do you agree? Only a select few. I'm not even talking about alpha, beta. I just mean men that show up, men that are accountable, men that have results, men that try, men that are patient, men that honor God, men that are worthy of following, men that are stoic, men that are masculine. Only these men deserve the honor of having their bloodline continued. Nobody taught y'all that. I understand. Some of y'all, nobody ever talked to you like this, but there's a first time for everything. These men are typically hardworking, attentive, conscientious, and principled men. That's what I've known them to be in my short time on this earth. Those men have always been the best fathers. Those types of men. Hardworking, attentive, conscientious, and principled. Always been the best fathers. So if you want to tell me a story about Pookie that doesn't take care of his kids, I'm going to ask you why you were so comfortable making him a father in the first place. I don't want to hear no more y'all Pookie stories. That's on you. Only in the West do we let women talk and complain about the decisions they made. It's one thing to just have sex with the dude, but you act like sex happens on Tuesday and the baby comes out on Thursday. You protect your womb, man. For real, for real. AAB, what's up? Protect your womb. Listen, not even to be insensitive, but listen to me. I'm not a woman, so I can only imagine what a woman would go through to birth a child. But using my logic, I would think going through such a painful process and having your body changed forever would be something you would reserve for only the best and most capable men in our society. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with that. Only the big dogs should get the pussy. Only the winners. Only the dudes that show effort, that come home from work with their clothes dirty or their brain tired from the amount of effort they had to put into bettering our society. Only those men should be honored with the gift of legacy. Don't complain to me about Pookie. You the one that gave it up. I don't want to hear that shit. You got one gift. Imagine having something between your legs that all men want. Hetero men anyway. Shit, even some of the, never mind. I ain't going there. You got one thing that all men want between your legs. That is a gift. What's up, Shan? My man Shan said he's doing a show on that. Please drop the link in the time so we may promote that. My man Shannon Rawls, what's up? But you got one thing that all men want. Didn't you think you should have preserved that for what you want? You want commitment. You want the same dude to come to into y'all's bed and lay his head there every night. It ain't our fault. Sorry. So let me ask this question. That makes me ask this question. So what makes me ask anyway? Are modern women bad mothers? I looked into this, and I'm dropping a link so y'all can come up. I looked into this. Did y'all know? Of course y'all knew, but maybe y'all heard it. But let me cite my source real quick. The Child Protection Resource. I read about it in the UK and the US, where they gather the most data on such a thing. Mothers are more abusive to their children than fathers. Like in cases of incidents reported, mothers. In case of fatalities as a result of abuse, mothers are more abusive in this day and age than the fathers. Do y'all know why that is? Because let me tell y'all where I'm going with this so the ladies I don't lose the ladies and you think that I'm trying to beat you down. A lot of women that I've known can't even fathom that this is true because mothers love their children so much, right? Mothers wouldn't do things to hurt their children. Let me explain to you my ultimate consensus, my synopsis on this. Mothers are the most celebrated parent, hands down. People take care of mothers. People look out for mothers. People do all of this. But y'all are forgetting the key factor in all of that. Mothers are the most celebrated parents in a marriage. You don't get that honor unless a man gave that shit to you. I see this in my own family. I see this in my own household. My kids can't talk to their mother crazy because I don't allow it. They watch me honor their mother and take care of her, give her kisses on the cheek, bring her flowers. So what do you think my son is going to do when he grows up? When he's gone, I guess he wants me to take care of mom the way he did. He can honor her because that's what I did. Y'all think y'all can get all of that honor without the man attached to it, and you can't. You can't handle nothing. Everything is hard for you by yourself. You thought you could exclude the dude from your life, from the children's life, and get the same honor and respect from them that my children are going to give to their mom. You tripping. They honor her because of me. She gets to be the best mother she can be because of me. Fathers Make it so mothers can be the most honored and the most celebrated. I don't even need the honor. Because if I'm alive, she's taken care of. Look, I can see y'all in the chat talking shit. You can't prove me wrong. What ethnic group has the most amount of children that are criminals, that don't want to take care of their mothers, that are disrespectful to their mothers, that are disrespectful to elders in school, that are disrespectful to their friends, have the most amount of DV in their relationships, fail to create marriages, fail to stay with the women that they're with? It is the people who are raised by single mothers. You can't prove me wrong. Stop talking shit in the chat. You can't prove me wrong. Literally millions and millions of people show you that I'm telling the truth. Millions and millions of people can show you that I'm telling the truth. Wherever fathers aren't present, fuckery is soon to come. So let me explain to you a little bit why I said we're going to discuss the question of, are modern women bad mothers? Because this is a very sobering question, but it's very valid and it holds a lot of weight. Because when we're trying to preach these messages to the people at large, we need to have context. So let me mansplain this for you. That's what y'all like to say. But I realize women stopped using that term mansplain when male advocacy started to become popular. When the red pill started to become popular and they realized they couldn't out-explain anything. They couldn't out-explain us. They couldn't out-talk us. They couldn't out-smart us. They stopped saying mansplaining because they realized we were actually smart. Remember, the top dog. No women can deal with the top dog. So y'all stop saying mansplaining. But let me explain this from the male point of view and what I mean by that. Modern men have not changed. Not really. I'm sorry. Some modern men have. But what I mean is the essence of man and what makes us tick, what makes us get up in the morning, what makes us go out and put on for our family, so on and so forth. That has not changed. The men that are responsible for a large majority of what we see in the productive society, Elon Musk, Bill Gates, corporate CEOs, principal executives, principal engineers, doctors, all of these people, men that are extremely productive tend to neglect their children because they're so into their career. So men that don't make time for their children, they don't spend time with them. We know these men are widely regarded as the worst fathers. So the reason I ask this question is because there are only 24 hours in a day. And if women are going to spend so much time focusing on their career, half the 4 hours a day in their phone typing messages, they're more than likely not with their baby's father, even though they have 2 children. You don't have the makeup of what it takes for what we call a good mother, an attentive mother. And I think it starts with your inability to stay with their father. I'm telling you, that's a real thing. At least in my eyes. Modern women are not widely known as great mothers. Zero tolerance. I'm about tired of your shit, man. Women have always worked, especially black women. Women have always worked. Even if you stayed home, you still worked. Women used to wash laundry for other people. They ran daycares in their homes. Women have always worked. Do better. This is what I'm talking about. If this is a woman, you keep throwing excuses in here as to why you're a terrible mom because you have to work. That is exactly my point. Let me bring up Mr. Eakin. How you doing?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm good. What are your opening thoughts? Because I got questions on this. Are modern women bad mothers?
Put it this way, right? There was something called Sodom and Gomorrah in the Bible. So Sodom and Gomorrah became the talk of devastation throughout history because of what happened. So what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah was that the society became more of a feminine society, gynocentric. As soon as that society became gynocentric, what happened? Men became women, and the whole thing went bad from there. The society was a thriving city when masculinity was the thing that ruled in that society. So put it this way in life, whenever whenever you see women misbehave, is because men that are not supposed to be having kids are having kids. You see the problem? Men that are not supposed to have access to a woman's body is having access to a woman's body.
Yep.
Because what those men do is that they create convenience for themselves by going after masculinity. So the reason why feminism came to be was because there were a group of men that couldn't have access to a woman's body. So they started promoting sexual miscreancy in order to encourage women to become free of men. Because if these women can become free of men, these men can have access to these women. But if they're not free of men, these men cannot have access. So these men started movement by encouraging women to do something that is out of nature. Just look at it this way. If you remember when you were in high school or junior high, how were you able to get a woman? By telling her what she wanted to hear, but also letting her understand that it's okay to have sex. It's okay. There is nothing bad about it. Because deep down inside her mind, that subconsciously, she didn't want to have sex. She knew it was a bad thing. She knew it can only end up bad. But you as a man have to start talking to her, start telling her, no, it's not bad, it's just nature, it's art. You get to enjoy life. So you become the devil that have to give her that free mind, free thinking. So that's what these men have successfully done that they couldn't do over thousands of years. They successfully were able to do that 150 years ago. And that's the result today.
Solid. Mr. Rich, what's going on? Good afternoon.
Yeah, it's a tough topic because I know we're looking for yes or no, but I disagree with a few with the premise of a lot of this stuff because I've said this before and I say it now. I'm gonna stick by it. I don't believe women are different at all. Now, let me give you what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
They say if you get a lot of money, it just amplifies what kind of character you have.
Yeah.
So if you're a bad person and then you get $1 million, you're just gonna be a bad person with $1 million. If you're generous, you'll be generous. If you're all these kind of things, the nature of women has not changed. I'm gonna say it again. I'm gonna explain this better one of these days. Only the tools that they have provided to them and that they use and abuse have. For example, women always like sex, but when they got the pill, it put that craving on steroids. So they took their nature and they used the tool of the pill, and it went and it exploded. It exploded. They were having indiscriminate sex, not because men just talked them into it. They were able to do it now with impunity. Okay. The feminist movement is a tool of empowerment for women, but the message was bad, right? White women and black women look at feminist movement in the waves, and black women put it on steroids. Single motherhood used to be shamed, and it's not shamed anymore. Matter of fact, it's celebrated, but they're not looking at the people who are celebrating it. Rich women are having babies out of wedlock and they're celebrating, but the rank and file women can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm saying is that they just took that nature, and the culture and the environment made it conducive for them to do all the fuckery that they're doing right now. So let's just say all women are modern women now, but they all don't behave the same. So are there a few exceptional women who can raise a kid by themselves? You'll find that the successful single mothers still have somebody from either early Gen X or a baby boomer generation that supports the fact that they're single mothers. The ones who are most ratchet don't have no such support but the government. And if you start looking at that, that's why there's a difference. So we see exceptions to the rule that get celebrated, right? Because the support system is in there to help them with their single motherhood. So that gives the false impression that it's good. And so can a few of them be good mothers? Only if they have a support system that includes men that can help them out. Other than that, they're all having a terrible time. And we don't have to go through, we don't have to have that much evidence, because we're right in the echo chamber that'll tell you. You go to TikTok, you go to all these other things on YouTube, and you'll find woman after woman lamenting the fact that they're single mothers. Mm-hmm. So that tells you all you need to know. So, I mean, my answer is kind of convoluted. Yeah, can they be good? A few can be a good mother, but for the most part, it's a losing proposition.
All
That's I'll land it there.
All right, give me 1 second. I'm just trying to formulate the next question. So, because remember, I phrased the question: are modern women bad mothers for a reason? Because the next question that really comes from that is, I think women are looking at it to say, when women are bigging up other women and celebrating other women, the same way I said that all women think they're good women, a lot of women think they're good mothers simply because they're a mother. And I think we as men do a lot to break this cycle of delusion. And one of the bigger things is that women now have done things where, when you ask them what makes up a good mother, they're going to give you characteristics that don't even qualify. The same way you ask them, if you say what makes up a good woman, they're going to give you characteristics that don't even qualify. They're going to say, I work, I do this, I'm smart, who gives a like? Is that important to a man? It's not. So I think if we really ask, and I'm going to ask the chat, and of course I'm going to ask y'all to talk on this in a second, what are the characteristics of a good mother? Because I've asked, I do this almost every day when I'm formulating these topics. I just go to the group chats, the various group chats that I'm on with a lot of the people that participate on the Lapeef Network and some other ones with a lot of women in there, and I'll just ask a basic question: what are the characteristics of a good mother? And I will get the weirdest answers I've ever heard. So I want y'all to really help me explain it. And women, of course, I'm going to drop the link again. So make sure y'all come up after I read these super chats. I'm going to drop the link right now. Make sure y'all come up, and I'm going to read these super chats. And y'all come up and let us know. Chat, let us know. What are the characteristics of a good mother? Frenchie, $2. We appreciate that. Big Ant, I've read that one already. We appreciate that. Quincy with the $10 super sticker. We appreciate you, man. Thank you for the support. Snuggle says lies. Show 100 years of proof. 100 years of proof. What did I say that about? Forgetting. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say 100 years? 60 years. 60 years of proof in the Black community of the father removed from the home will show you that fathers are not only required for unity, for family, for wealth creation, for everything. You remove the father, you get every single statistic that the Black community suffers from today. There is no issue, not one, that the Black community suffers from at scale that cannot be traced back to fatherlessness in the Black community. Not one. So that is 60 years of proof showing you that fathers are what make mothers great. The reason children know what to do immediately when that father leaves is because of the life he led in that family, keeping that family together. How he
Look at
treated
it
that
this
mother
way.
and how he held things down. You can't prove me wrong. You can't. It's
Look
impossible.
at it. Look at it this way, Trigger Mike. If you look at society, look at the kids that always get involved in police activity or kill other people. If you look at it, most of them come from single mothers.
Yes.
It's very difficult that you see a child that is raised by his dad, tutored by his dad and mom, both parents, not one parent, both parents in the house, tutored by his parents, and the parents are home, not evening parents or weekend parents. I mean, they only meet see their kids during the weekend. They always, one of them is home to raise the kids, the other one come home to know how the kids are doing, to make sure the kids are okay. When you see family like that, right? Like the families we all come from, all of us here come from, you see that there is always that voice in your head when you want to do something stupid that will tell you, hey, daddy is not going to like this, mommy is not going to like this, daddy is not going to like this, you can't be here, what are you doing here? You're always going to feel guilt and remove yourself from it. But single mothers' children always act the way their mom acts when she is tense and there is no man to calm her down. If you be in a single mother's house and see how they act and how they get bored and react to things, and you know, whenever a woman reacts, there's supposed to be a man there to calm her down, to tell her, oh, come on, what is it? Calm her down. But when there is none, she can only get hard until she falls asleep. So the boy only sees that. So when he grows as a boy, all he knows is to get hard. And the only way to settle things, because he's acting in a man's masculinity nature, or in a man's body, is to be explosive. Is to be explosive. So that's very dangerous. But the thing is this: if you look at this life in particular, yes, 75% of the kids are born in single family home. Almost half of that, their dads are in the life of the kids. Their dads are able to hold these kids down. Maybe he doesn't live in the house, but he comes often. He's always in the life of these children to hold them down. It's always very small amount of them that do this damage. And they do that damage. That's why 80% of the crime committed is done by about 30 to 40% of these kids that are born in single family homes. You see what I'm saying? So that is a problem. That is a big problem. So all these women in the chat room should understand this, that if they keep promoting this culture, they can only make it worse. But I got to also say this: people that are always in this society, they don't give a damn. Like, you see how they come on chat and say so many and support this culture? The ones that support the culture don't care. And the reason why they don't care is this: they believe if I'm going to go down, we all going down. No, we're not going down. You're going down alone. We're not going down with you.
I feel that. And I got to say something to the chat, y'all. Remember, on this show, we advocate for the full responsibility of dads. I advocate for the full responsibility of fathers. So much so that if you're going to complain that a man left you and you know where he's at and you have his address, take that baby to his house, all of his clothes, and drop that baby off there. If you ain't willing to do that, don't talk to me about you being alone, or because that's not usually what happens. Y'all take the smallest circumstance and extrapolate it out to say that's everybody's problem. That's not everybody's problem. Most of y'all, some of y'all were never with the dude in the first place. You try to have the baby to keep him, and that's never worked. That shit has never worked. So remember, as a woman, and I don't know who the hell raised some of y'all, if you have a baby by a man that cannot stay, foreigners, they don't care. They look at the woman like she's stupid. There is a tried and true way, a way that has worked for millions of years, since humans have been on this earth, to get a man to take care of his responsibility. If you don't take that route, you are the fool. I'm sorry. If you skip steps and you didn't win, if you cheated and got caught and didn't win, understand why your results are what they are. Y'all keep trying to argue things where your sin came first. You the one who fucked up. Always tell that part of the story when you telling the story, and then I'll rock with y'all a little more. But y'all are in here saying, well, he left and he this and he this, as if you have no liability, as if an effect has no cause. You chose the wrong man. You did not vet him correctly. You likely weren't married when you had the child. Ladies, it's your womb, your fault. I'm sorry. That's the way I look at things. But Mr. Payne, what are the characteristics of a good mother? What do you think?
Well, it's a couple. One, I had a couple things written down. One, that they recognize that their kids, whether it's a boy or a girl, needs their father in their lives, regardless of their personal feelings, regardless of the fact that they don't like this guy, which, all of these women get jealous of the guy moving on, and they use the kid as a weapon or a reward. There's the most horrible women in the world do that.
Yeah.
There's nothing they can do when they do that. When they use the kids as a weapon or a reward on a man who wants to take care of their kids, there's no lower scum of the earth than those kind of women. That's how I feel. Because especially a man who wants their kids, whether they like the woman or not, willing to pay child support, willing to do anything else, and you use your children as, human shields to hurt this man, you have no integrity left. I have nothing to say good about you for doing that. And any woman who tries to defend that shit, to hell with you. So that's number one. Number two is a woman who doesn't stop, who doesn't stop after one kid. You get one kid out of wedlock, you know what's wrong, and you still keep having multiple babies, and you start adding up how much you benefit from having multiple baby fathers, you're a ratchet ass chick. You know what I'm saying? So, and there's a lot of them, right? There's some ladies come out here. So why you have 6 kids with one guy, have 6 kids with, 6 different men, and you can make a living. These women have nothing to offer society, right? And they're hurting their children. So there's some real discrete things. Now, a woman who's a single mom, on the surface of it, I can't say whether she's a bad person or not. I would never say that, right? Because I don't know the people. But it's your behavior that makes the difference. It's how you treat those kids. If they're priority, let me give you another example. Remember just recently that they had to save those 2 kids from a burning car? The ladies in the store shoplifting, and the kids are in the car, and the car catches on fire.
Exactly.
I think she tried to kill the children myself. I think she might have set that fire. And she wanted to come out, and those kids would be
and
gone.
behave like,
yes. And the car was relatively new. I mean, how many cars just sit down in a lot? And first of all, the car was stolen, by the way. So I would imagine that car had a certain amount of maintenance on it because it belonged to somebody who was responsible. Tell me, when's the last time we seen a car that new spontaneously combust?
Oh man, you speaking facts right now. Damn.
So there's a lot of ratchet ass women out there, and and the one thing we get as men, because we get bad raps because they say we talk about women all the time, but somehow we just need to say there's a lot of ratchet women out there, and it can't just be Crimson Cure talking about them. I don't like talking about women that way, but in this kind of instance, they gotta take it when the shoe fits. They gotta wear it. Because when men behave badly, we have to wear it. We have to wear those. We have to wear that. So every so often, women have to wear the shit that they do. And that's it.
Yeah.
Look at it this way, right? Okay. When a woman has, let me be honest with you, the way I judge women. When a woman has 6 kids by one man, I usually say, oh, she was in love. She was hoping for marriage. I have utmost respect for them. I don't have respect for the man because she was strict. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because one thing that I found out is this: some men will promise women marriage and keep having kids with them, and then they get to a time and say to her that, you know what, we don't need marriage. We find where we are. Some men do that. Some men do that on a constant basis. So we cannot allow that to go away, because there are men out there that are very, very tricky. But then there are women that will have, when a woman starts having 2 or more men, that's where I have a problem. But a lot of them are doing it for child support. The ones that usually will have kids by multiple men, all have the only child that each of those men have. I was watching on YouTube, and this white girl, this ghetto house white girl, right? She said it really good. She said she has 6 kids by 6 different baby daddies, and she made sure she has those 6 kids by all these 6 different baby daddies because she could get $350 on each of those baby daddies. That's 2,000 plus a month. Whereas if she was to have those kids by just one baby daddy, she could only get maybe maximum of $700.
Yep.
So some of them do it for economics.
I mean, listen, even that example that I just gave them, because women don't really understand that's, I will throw them that curveball very easily. Let the men take care of their kids. I don't care what you say. If they want them, oh, they don't want, I don't care what they want. I advocate for full responsibility of dads. They're better under his care anyway, statistically, as you've seen me lay out. Go drop him off at his house. If you can do it, he damn sure can do it. He will figure it out. So unless you're ready to do that, don't talk to me. And you know why they're not ready to do that? Because there's a chance that they might end up having to pay him child support. So women don't want that smoke when they want to talk about child. Like the one thing that I will say, that I consistently say, y'all have heard me say, men need to stop trivializing sex with women. It is not just a joke. The first time a condom pops on a man or anything like that, and you already skeeted in it, you should understand, like, oh snap, this is not a game. Because if this chick gets pregnant, you know, and the first time that happens to you, you should understand this is not a game, something I really should take more seriously, which is one of the reasons I kind of was always in a relationship. I was kind of like a serial monogamous. Like for some reason, even when I wasn't in a relationship, I was still messing with the girl that I just broke up with. I'm that kind of guy, only because there was a certain amount of safety in it. Like, well, at least I've known this person and I've, you know, been with them a while, you know. So if you're out here trivializing sex and just having it willy-nilly and it's unprotected, yeah, you are scum. You don't take yourself seriously. And I damn sure don't know why any woman would take you seriously as a candidate to be a father. But women, you have sole control over this other part of the birthing process. Women trivialize childbirth because someone told you that you would be cool or it'd be okay to take care of that baby alone. Every other woman on earth from every other culture literally cannot think of anything worse than having a child without a father. Like literally, unless a man is going to die before they give birth, they will not even speak of that. A child with no dad. I don't want that. But y'all delight in the fact that you might be able to have a child, have a man pay you, and him have no influence over that child. That's crazy. That is crazy. That's really what y'all are going after. You want full control. You want to, and look, you said 650. That's no money to me. But for them, I don't get it, man. But let me talk about the characteristics of a good mother for a second, because that's what the question on the table is. I think that I've noticed, and one of the reasons why I wanted to talk about this particular topic is because mothers are very unique, especially from us. I can find a lot of joy in the fact that I married a woman that is an excellent mother, not even a good mother, an excellent mother. And I knew making that a part of my selection process was the right thing to do. I didn't just want her for me. She was for my children too. She reads to them. She does not go against my philosophy for what I want for their lives. She uses my masculinity, my logic, my practicality against the children, right? She doesn't try to use her own. She raises the children. You know, your daddy said that good mothers do all of that. They not only want what's best for their children, they want it in totality. Good mothers understand that they are not the only caregiver, that they are not the only influence. The community around them is the best influence. The fact that you stay with their father and work things out is actually what's best for them. Good mothers want what's best for their children, not what's best for them. what's best for their children. Now imagine the life you could create for a child if both parents think like that. I'm gonna work things out with their mom because it's best for the children. The wife is like, I'm gonna work things out with their dad because it's best for the children. Those people are going to create every version of what is good in this world. Every version comes from that type of thing. The world, the universe wills it to be so. That's why single kids, most kids that come from single mother-led homes, like literally struggle against their peers. They struggle in school. They struggle to understand. They struggle, though the boys struggle with their masculinity. The girls become promiscuous and struggle with their femininity because you only had one side the whole time, one influence the whole time. And they suffer because of it. Anybody else?
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, Richard. Look at it this way, right? If you look at life, you see that, okay, let's say in our families, how a good mom operates. She always makes sure that everything she tells you, the way you prepare yourself, she always bring your dad into it. She will say, oh, you know, your dad is not going to like this. Your dad this, your dad that. She always use your dad as the first emphasis of communication because good mothers always know that kids have special respect for their fathers. A child might be misbehaving and the mom will try to calm him or her down. And she will not go cry, and the mom might slap her, beat her, or anything. She's still going to rebel. But as soon as the father steps in, the father steps in and say, sit down, the child quiets down. The child quiets down right away because there is a responsibility that a dad has that is so overwhelming, so colossal, that kids mentally understand the virtue of it. And it makes a child to sit in their place just by hearing their dad say something. So a good mother always tell a child about the father. Always make kids understand that everything they do is for their father's legacy. Yeah,
I like that.
I agree. I can't argue with that. I used to tell my kids, no matter what, about decisions they make. Some you can correct, and there's some you can't come back from. I said, when you're gonna make a big decision, I just say, just remember the face of your father. When you're gonna make some kind of, remember my face, and instead of asking what Jesus would do, ask what your father would do. So it's been successful so far, but my kids are grown now, and I feel good about what I've done. I try to impart some of that on my cousins and some of the younger folks in my family. But we come from a matriarchal family, just like a lot of Black people. My grandmother was one of those matriarchs, and she used to yell and scream at everybody, except when my grandfather used to tell her to calm down, and she would stop. And when he had enough, no matter what everybody, when he had enough, he used to tell her just sit down, and she would absolutely do it. And the funny thing is, we had our Sunday dinners, and he always got the big piece of chicken.
You know what's funny about what you just said? So I was just talking with a girl that swore her mother was the powerful one in the family. And I said, my experience with that is that some dudes, all men aren't, loud or boisterous in their way. They don't lead with a strong fist. And I'm like, yes, some families do have pushovers for dads, but you got to be careful. I was like, some men, you have to watch closely. Some women are just loud. Some women are very like that. But I'm like, and I asked her straight up, when your grandfather, especially when you have a woman that's loud and rah-rah like that and likes to get up in people's face, when he said, sit your ass down, did she sit down? She was like, oh yeah, she did. I was like, then she wasn't necessarily in charge.
Sit your ass down.
He just was a cooler type of head. Yeah, I'm like, my dad wasn't cool. He was the one with the finger knife handing you. My dad was that type of dad, so my mom couldn't get a word in. But I'm like, I've seen some of my uncles, and I'm like, they're cool. They'll sit down literally with their hands like this, contemplating and thinking. But once the mom made too much noise, he'd be like, yeah, please sit down. Though. And then he'll come say his piece, and that lady's silent in the corner, like a church mouse. So y'all got to understand, some dudes have always had control. There are different behavior dynamics in every relationship. But like I keep saying, when y'all keep saying, oh, foreign women, they aren't really submitting. When their husband says that's enough, they understand. And even that's actually traditionally the way women were here in America. Black David, we haven't heard from you.
CBN.
You're on.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Yeah,
we can hear you.
we can now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Now, when you brought up this topic, I was thinking about how many women will be on the chat room talk about this is all these damn lies. Men are making up that one thing is not true. They're fortresses, but the evidence right before them, but they don't want to agree. So I'm wondering if they're cloying the water they're drinking, the alcohol they're drinking, they have some kind of pill inside of that make them delusional. Like, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can.
Okay. No, I think I kind of low it because of the feedback. I got annoying kids. When I add a little feedback to it, they'll pick up the back down. Let me put it like this. I'm glad the topic is up there because, for one, the truth is in the front in their eye. They don't want to believe. They don't want to receive it. 60 years plus of men not being at home in the U.S. have proven that men are needed in the household, but they don't want to hear it. That's why I'm asking if they're chlorine in the water, are there pills in their drink, or there's some kind of chemical imbalance in their head that make them think otherwise? Because for some parent reason, none of that they're delusional. It's like a mental health sickness, so to speak. And that's what I'm looking at, because what you said is totally true. What I noticed, speaking in Brooklyn, New York, when I've seen a lot of single moms who try that same game with having multiple baby daddies, and they had Section 8, and they have housing given to them by the government, and they have food stamp, and all these other necessities without busting their ass. And sometimes they brag about it when they're on the bus. I remember one time that happened a couple of years back. This lady was bragging about it. I'm looking at her like, to do with my tax that I'm going to? Really? And when Father Day come, they say, I'm a mother and a father. I'm like, excuse me? So I thought trying to think back and say, why is this happening? What is the reason behind it? Why do women have to deceive themselves to the point of committing the ultimate sin, thinking that there's no ramification behind it? And when shit hit the fan, they want men to come to clean up. Why is that? They say they don't need a man, but government's run by men, right? You don't need a man, but the police is run by men, right? You don't need a man, but the infrastructure that you're living in is built by men, right? Isn't that correct? Or am I delusional now? I'm just asking.
I think that's a good point, man. I think that's a good point.
I'm trying to be the person that people call weird for many years. I'm being the person who wants to tell you the truth in your face. I could care less. It tastes better. I want to shove it down your throat so you can gag on it. And understand the truth can be very bitter, but for some apparent reason, you want to get intoxicated and be stupid. Yes, I'm African, but I'm brutal. I'm not trying to be nice to people no more these days. I would give you the blunt and unfiltered truth. I could care less. You choke on it. Continue to choke on the truth. The problem is, you fail to realize this world system is built when you need both parents, mother and father. Father Day is coming around the corner. I want to see how many women will come on the social media platform and say Happy Father Day to me. And I know I have to call the hospital, call the arbiter. Got another psychotic person on the street. I'll give you the address to pick up. I'm just saying. And hearing that part where this woman talking about having sick kid with sick baby daddy to get extra more money, this is more reason for a politician to pull the plug of child support completely. If this what's going on, yank it out. Completely. Let's see how they survive. We Africans know how to survive when there's no support system. We find our way out regardless of it. So let American people understand what it's like to be faced with a reality. I got no mercy for dumb or stupid people, and I never will.
All right. Ed Hill, my man, what's going on?
What's going on, Trigger? You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, what's going on, brothers? Y'all right? What's going on,
we
West School? You all
chilling,
right?
Hey,
Hey, it's an interesting topic, and I was just leaving work, and to first answer your question, what's the characteristics of a good mother? I'll just say like handling motherly duties in a motherly manner, and in the outcome, I believe you'll get respect. So, only way I can just say this is just a recent experience. And I was on the bus. I live in Detroit. And when I got on the bus, I saw this young lady. She couldn't have been over 15 years old. And my routine of going, I take downtown, and it's a lot of kids getting off the bus, getting on the bus, morning and afternoon or whatever. And automatically, I was like, no, I'm not going to sit there. I'm just going to stand. A few miles down, two couples came on, a lady and a gentleman, and bus was already crowded, and this guy effortlessly and initiatively said, I want to sit right here next to the young lady that was about 14 years old, and she had her hood over. It's just like she was scared. And in Detroit, everybody should know about Detroit, even if you haven't been or if you have been. And she said no. So the lady that was with the gentleman said, she just looked at her like, you better let my man sit right here. And she just very scarily scooted over, moved her bag, and let the dude sit there. And she was like, if you had did that there, if you had did that to my mom or my kids, it would have been over. And I'm saying, you gonna threaten this young lady, 14 years old, her mom not around, her dad not around, and everybody else here is just looking at this going down. I'm like, a law has been broken. This little girl is threatened. And you say you claim you a mother, and this is how you take action as a mother. Now, I would say, is that a motherly like way or a modern motherly like way? So
That's crazy.
yeah, man. And due to the fact that I was just about to get off, I feel so sorry and bad for myself because I was about to call the police, but some good thing somebody else was, and the bus driver stopped at that point. And I just said a quick prayer and all that. But in that case, I'm just thinking of like, are men actually taking action when they come across some modern woman, and especially on that experience right there? Because just by that, when I saw that go down, I was like, what's the world coming to? Are we lost? I mean, what happened to the nourishing? What happened to the when you want to address something? How do traditional mothers take action? And then if it's not your child, how do you do that? I was thinking now it's like in the 90 percentile, modern women are in effect now.
So you said something that is actually, so this is actually what's been percolating on this particular topic. Now that the bad part is that some women made bad decisions. So all single mothers are not single mothers from Pookie. Some of them were married. Some of them, were in relationships with a man, living with him, whatever, and had companionship that way. But remember, the women that chose it for themselves, especially these women, that's why you see them come out now asking about where the men are. Where are the men at? Y'all are supposed to be helping us. They feel entitled to community help to help raise the kid, especially the teenage boys that they can't handle because he tossing their ass around the crib and behaving the way teenage boys tend to do. Hold on, Black David. So what I have realized, especially as somebody who's a part of fraternity who does community advocacy, who used to run, one of the programs for the young boys, I realized that, oh snap, they feel entitled to this type of help. And when I tell you there's nothing we can actually do, every man was entitled. What you should feel entitled to is that your man takes care of his kids. That's literally all you can do culturally and legally, because look at what happens every time a man steps up. That mother will like literally accept it. Giving help also requires accepting it. Remember, when you they ask for help, but when you confront them on the spot about what they're doing that's wrong, what do? They flip the hell out and tell us to mind our business. There is no way to help these women.
You ain't my daddy. You ain't my
exactly.
Man.
You ain't his daddy. Don't talk to it. They flip out and make you regret the entire encounter. So they can stop asking for help, because the person that can help them, they won't accept his calls. They won't let him see his kid. They're using him against him because he got married to another woman or whatever. Every man is entitled to take care of his own, because that's literally all we can do. I'm telling you.
And then just one more thing, Trigger Mike. Like when we're talking about, when you said confronting, would you say the traditional mother and the nourishing, the right type of mother is okay to confront, like in that type of experience I talked about, but the modern woman, she's not appropriate to address any type of confrontation or confront a child in order to do this, because just like I said, she did it in a threatening, disrespectful way to a child. Just say, for instance, an incident happened in the streets or whatever, at a church or wherever, she's going to probably put hands on her. And, that's not right, even though children do need their ass whooped, excuse my language. But we're talking about the modern and the traditional woman. Here we mostly see the modern woman. The first instinct is either putting hands on them, cuss them out, just by the face structure. I mean, how they face look is just, they just feel threatened. So, I mean, man.
You know what I've noticed as a characteristic of good mothers, even if they are single? I think I said this already. Single mothers know they need help. Those type of single mothers that are good, they know they need help. So the same way we're asking men to step up, you don't have to ask. A good mother knows she needs to go seek. She needs to go seek help. This is why you see some women get the grandfather involved. Because remember, not all of them are single for certain reasons. The dad may have left. The dad may be deceased. They know they need help outright, and they will ask for it. Some mothers in this example, like, it's weird to me. I think some women are trying to create this narrative that they created all the great athletes, which isn't true. But I will argue with you and say all of these basketball players and people that came from single moms, I'm going to be real with y'all, their coaches raised them. Men still raise them. Their coaches raised them. Okay? The coaches was like, you know what? Don't even worry about it. He can ride with me. I saw that my entire life playing AAU. The mom showed up, and sometimes even the dad took over that part of their life. They were split up, but the dad took over. So those kids didn't actually come from their mom. They just lived with their mom. Not all these moms are these rah-rah sports moms. The coach raised that boy into who he was. He didn't want to be like his mom. He wanted to be like coach. He wanted to be like his teammates. So women know they need to get stuff like that going for their young boy or their young girl. When they don't have help, they need to go seek it. That's a characteristic of a good mother. These women that are they claim the community is supposed to help them, but they reject it, because the bad part is that they never want their mistakes to be front and center. They never want you to call it. It always has to be something the kid is doing and she's helpless to stop it, not how her mistakes help enable the kid to do that behavior. You see what I'm saying?
Who fell?
What's going on there, Ed?
Somebody's fighting in the
Damn, I
background.
missed that. I got to go back and look. What was that?
You all right?
You all
Somebody's
right?
fighting in the background.
One time they hijacked his truck on us suddenly.
Somebody's been attacked by his wife.
Oh no, by a modern woman.
Oh no, I gotta go back. What the hell happened?
Wait, what? So, how y'all doing, people?
All right.
How you doing, White School?
I'm doing good, Trucker. Yeah.
Oh, here y'all
Looking
go.
well.
Jesus.
Looking very good. So, I was getting ready to say, how can you help women today if they don't want the help? Um, you just proved the point that, usually when a dude step in and try to correct something that they see as wrong, they normally get I didn't ask your ass for no help. You didn't have to. I didn't ask you, and they just don't appreciate it. So it's like, why? There's no point. I talked about this the other day, or not too long ago. I think White School heard me, where they was talking about giving their 13-year-old daughter a vibrator, and all how the reaction of all the women agreed. They all said, absolutely right. Yep. I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Then I found a video again of the mother wishing her child to be gay. Baby ain't even 3 weeks old. I talked about this video a couple days ago. People didn't know what I was talking about. I watched it again last night, and I was like, this is some sick shit. Like this is terrible. And that's what's going on out here. I've also talked about how, I mean, it's plenty of evidence out there for people to say, but, it's always come back to, is YouTube is not real, or it's just a video, it's not real. When we see it clearly every day, people just like to play blind until it's too late. So I don't think all mothers are bad today. I think majority, maybe like 70%.
God damn. You might as
There's
well
still
say
some-
all.
Yeah. I'm giving a number. I mean, we see it. You got girls, they sitting there video on their kid, literally, the daughters on the car shaking their ass. You got mothers literally letting their sons shake their ass. Their sons are shaking their ass. You know what I'm saying? You got mothers who back then, traditionally, the mother would make sure that the kid was around the males majority of the time, right? And they was playing with tools. But now you got mothers who is literally giving their sons cooking and baking accessories at the age of 3 instead of the the toolbox and stuff like that. So, I mean, we got all the evidence. Just a lot of people don't want to deal with reality. I mean, we see it on TV all the time. Hell, you got mothers on national TV bragging about how they abandon their child. So I mean, what more do you need to see?
I mean, I think this is why this makes for a good topic, bro. The same way, I'm telling you, the same way women all think they're good women or like they're good candidates for marriage, they're good candidates as a girlfriend. I'm the shit. I'm bomb. Like literally, all women think that. All women think because they're a mother that they're a good mother. So we got to give some context on what that means. Well, Wife School, you're next. What do you got on the topic?
Hey everyone. I feel like I should go incognito so nobody can recognize. But
Yep, we see your name, so too late.
I'm sorry. A good mother, she
This glass is
sacrifices.
for computer lens. That
I'm trying to hide, right? Okay. A good mother, she sacrifices and knows that she cannot do everything herself. I think the problem with modern women is that they're trying to wear so many hats that it starts coming to this frustration level, and you take it out on your children, and then you don't have good leadership skills. You're trying to be you lose control, and then you try to be the kid's friend because you want to, get them to calm down, act a certain way, and that just does not work. Instead of actually letting a man have leadership and structure, that friendship that a woman tries to put in that place messes up everything. And, she's too busy working so much. How can you be a good mom when you're working so much? Then at the end of the day, when your child really wants to spend that intimate time with you as a mother, you're burnt out. You don't want to cook. You're cooking, going to McDonald's, you're doing all these things that aren't, you're doing everything out of convenience instead of like really investing in your child, spending time, like you said, reading to your children like your wife does. And those little things the children are missing out on so much. And just because like David said, they're trying to be the mom and the dad instead of relinquishing that aspect that they cannot teach boys how to be men, that the girl needs the love of her father. But like I said, there's so many different situations, but from what I see, that women being reckless and just having, random children with men, so like it's funny how they don't want to practice morality in trying to get a mate, right? But they want to practice morality because they don't want to kill a child. So why couldn't you apply that same concept to getting a man, instead of just procreate. Now I don't want to get rid of the child. Now you got some moral self-righteousness. And it's just really backwards. It's like reverse engineering.
So wife school, I got a question for you.
Hopefully I
Do
can answer.
you think mothers, I'm out because you're a woman, so I'm asking, do you believe women like today, think that their child is a burden? Like it's not honorable no more, that it's a burden?
I think mothers love their children. Like I think fathers love their children. I think it gets to a point that it gets overwhelming. So women, they're so emotional. This happens to me. I get so overwhelmed that I'm like, man, this is crazy. Or like, I have to go sit down somewhere. I'm like, I tell my mom, I say, hey mom, can you help me with this? Because I can't look at these kids right now. Or tell my dad, can you take them out on a car ride because I just can't handle it right now. Women get to a point where they're handling everything. And so it seems like a burden because they don't have anything else to leverage, or they don't have a man to go to. They don't have a covering. They don't have that power, the influence of a father in the home that they can, say, hey, your dad's this, your dad's that. Or when your father gets home, like there's just no outlet for that. So in part, they feel like it's a burden. They feel like I'm not living my best life. They feel, like I'm just going to start doing me, which didn't push the child's needs on the back burner, essentially.
That's what usually happens right there.
Yeah.
I got
really
a sister.
bad.
Yeah, I got a sister. I got one of my sisters. She literally dipped out on her son, just to do her thing. Her excuse was, I'm young, and I'm just like, I had to cuss her out one good time. Like, yo, why the hell do you even have this child if you knew this you wasn't even going to even be honorable enough to take care of this blessing that you got? Now you abandoning this child, you chasing after some other dude which you left, the child father. Child father, great dude. He handles business. He go to work. Me, him, and we try to help out as much as we can. Drop a kid off whenever you need. But she out there traveling to Las Vegas and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's always a burden. And it's just a sad thing to see. Like I don't.
It is. Yes, it is.
I don't. I just. It's just sad. Like I don't remember all the stuff that the women of old did when I was growing up. I don't see none of that today.
Yeah.
Like that's a very few. Like when her square came up here, I think, and I was expressing like, yo, it's rare to see women talk so great about their husbands. Like it's rare. I used to hear it when I was a kid, like back in the day, but today in 2023, you don't hear. It's rare. Like in my entire life, like since I've grown, I've only heard two. That's it.
Yeah. I think because back then people knew, like they didn't really act with emotions, and they didn't have all this. I mean, they had their own swag back then, but like it was more like they got with the guy, or even if even if it was a survival thing, if arranged, they grew to love that man, and
Right.
it wasn't based on superficial, like, oh my goodness, he got those skinny pants on. I could see the gray sweatpants. It wasn't lust driven. It wasn't infatuated driven, which is so temporary because that's going to die off. And you're so blinded. That guy may not have the characteristics to lead. That guy may not have those characteristics to be a father, but yet you chose to be with that. And the real men that work every day and, went to the mills, went to to those places, they actually develop a family, had a foundation, and grew to love these men and acknowledge, well, he may not be perfect, but he's a good man.
Right. It's just I see the difference. Like, you know, um, it was like even though the husband did all that, he made the sacrifices and appreciation. The wife made sure his legacy continued. Like
Yeah.
everybody knew, even if he wasn't around, the grandkids wasn't around. Yo, my husband he was a phenomenal dude. I want you to be like him. I need you to move like him. Stuff like that. And it's just I don't see that today, man.
Mm-hmm.
And it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So that's Trigger Mike. You okay over there, man? You all right over there?
Man, I'm out here doing life, bro. My wife like, would I mind taking the baby girl to cheer? God damn it, you gonna tell me right now? Oh, shit. All right. Damn, I gotta pick these little.
Let me say something. Let me say
These little
something.
blessings.
I'm trying to understand this. Hold on. I'm trying to understand this. You have all these single moms out here complaining about men, right? I remember I said it back in the Broke and Dusty show. Why are these single moms picking the men that are not going to stay with them? But they know the men who will stay with them and do right by them, but you put them in the friend zone. Why they don't pick the nerds?
You know why?
The nerds. The nerds.
You know why?
They pick the I know they like to choose the non-educated, good for nothing, dumbass dude who they think they can control. But when I pick the highly educated brother who will not outsmart them, outthink them, out-strategize them, and then there's no way for them to control that, man, they feel like, nah, he's too much for me. I've been told that when I was growing up and back in high school. You're a little bit too smart for me. You're a little too dumb for me, then, right?
Yeah. It's it's about what
stupid. You retarded.
Yeah, it's about what Ikene said though. It's about what Ikene said with the Sodom and Gomorrah thing. So you got to understand. I think this is the baseline for it. The reason why women abuse some of the, I don't know, pseudo power they've been given is because think about it like this: women don't have natural power over men. They can't take power from us. So any chance they get to have control, it is an intoxicating experience to them. So when you think about a woman's ability to dominate, that's why everything that they talk about in today's society has like this false sense of female dominance in the script. Women in charge. Women do it better. Like I literally look at those shit. I'll be driving past something to say that and be like, shut the fuck up. Like, Jesus, do you see? Like men don't have to say that because we're always in charge. We're larger, we run faster, we talk smoother. It upsets a woman that she cannot do the things that men do. A lot of women are just jealous at the fact that they're not men, and they resent the fact that they are women. Women actually hate when they can't get compliance from a child, and then the man just walks in, sit down. They look like they just saw Jesus. They don't like that.
Or they can. It's just the fact that they don't move like the traditional old school women. Because the old school women was like tough love, number one. That was the quality. That was the number one thing, tough love. So if mama said sit your ass down, sit your ass down.
Well, yeah, that respect I'm gonna disagree a little bit. That respect came from their father. The children were adhering to what their father wanted, which is why they listened to their mother. And those moms, this is one characteristic they had, they knew how to use their respect they had for their father against them.
Okay, that makes sense. That's true. Okay, maybe I should have added that part at the end. I should have added that part.
So let me add something then. Okay, we got wife school up here, and we talk about why women go for the Pookies and Ray Ray, so to speak.
Hold on, real
I
quick.
mean,
I'm
she-
sorry.
she's-
Hold on, real
she's-
quick. Real quick. Black Dahlia, can you come on cam real quick and give me a thumbs up so I know it's you? All right. Oh,
Yeah. So she, so wife school is a person that should be answering that question, and not men just speculating. All right, because she's a woman. One of the things I think that we get wrong in this manifest space, because we want to say that we're always in charge, or at least we're supposed to. I don't know why we say women control access to sex and men control access to marriage, but when it comes to actually believing those words, men always say that we have some kind of control. When it comes to the matters of sex, women are absolutely in charge of it. Men throughout history have given away everything for a woman, for a box. I mean, presidencies, empires, everything. I mean, I don't care how Alexander the Great to everybody. So, I mean, before we start trying to explain that shit away, and because I don't want to hear it. I mean, it's men who know how to navigate that control. When I was 19, thank God I ran into this sister, and we were talking, and she said, listen, if you want to know how to deal with women, you have to understand that the only control she has over you is what she has between her legs. That's it. And once you give up power to that, you're lost. And I never forgot, I'm 109 years old now. I was 19
That's a
then.
fact. Yeah, hey, Payne. My dad told me, and I'm
And
telling
you
my
wonder why
son today.
Trey called him a dinosaur.
I listen. My dad told me young, and I tell my son this every day: never let pussy control you, because once you do, like what Payne is talking about, it's over. It's a wrap.
It's over.
So let me just say this real quick because I can't stay. I gotta go. Lumping all mothers and fathers into one category is insanely ridiculous. It does not matter if a man is educated or if a man is in the streets. If a man doesn't want to be a father, if he doesn't want to be a husband, and he doesn't want to be a provider, he's not going to stay. The real issue with parenting today is the fact that too many children are having children. There are at least 2 or 3 generations in which the mother is having a child the same age that her mother had a child. So if your mama had a child at 16 and you having a child at 16, you and your mama is both in the club at the same time. And a lot of women are not raising their children well. They didn't raise their children well. A lot of these grandmothers aren't being grandmothers. They aren't being leaders in the family. So, I hear the Wife School podcast point about mothers being tired and everything else, but all mothers are not the same, because some mothers have been poured into appropriately. They have the appropriate leadership in the matriarchy, telling them how they're supposed to interact with their children, leading them and guiding them from the onset. And other young women don't. They got mamas that's telling them put baby food in the baby bottle when the baby 2 months old, knowing good and well that child ain't supposed to eat no food until they 6 months old. You got these chicks nowadays that'll leave their kids in a home. Some other parents, some other mothers will be like, heck no, I'm not leaving my kids nowhere. Are you crazy? So, really, I came up here to say this. Let's stop using general broad strokes to speak about genders as a whole, and let's start speaking to making better decisions as individuals. Young ladies that are watching this, if you are not married, if you do not have your education, if you have not lived your life, if you have not traveled the world, do yourself this service and don't have children until you do that. That way you have no regrets. That when you have your children, you have enough life experience to pour into them, whether or not you are able to maintain a fantasy reality of forever after with their fathers or not. This is the problem with women today. They don't have enough life experiences to pour into the vessels of their children.
Hold on, y'all. You almost just gave all of the same advice that got women in this fucking problem in the first place. So I'm going to take away the education part because you could do that while you marry. I'm going to take away the travel part because you could do that while you marry. The reason why women are having such issues is because they trying to do everything and then have their pickings of men after all them niggas have been scooped up by the women who realize they can do it all at the same time. So
And what And what about the women that have picked up all those men and still wind up in abusive relationships and still wind up divorced?
Oh, don't derail the
Oh, man.
conversation.
Oh, damn.
Yes,
Stop.
because she like
Stop, bro.
what
Stop.
you said,
It's
you know,
crazy.
what she
They don't
said.
like this truth.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
my
Rob
God.
Privilege,
It
you're
always
saying like
goes back to the
this
fucking
lady
abuse,
knows
bro.
has all this world experience, all this knowledge.
Emotional,
And that
damn it.
if that's the
Y'all
case,
definitely got
she
it.
would have been able to pick a better man.
She should be able to pick a man too.
It takes the track.
Necessarily.
Wait.
Harris trying to be funny.
Oh,
Not
man.
necessarily because, like how I said, y'all act like men are not human beings. Y'all act like
We're not in
men.
competition, man.
Dang,
Men and women are not in competition.
They are in
I'm
competition.
Hey, let her finish,
saying
man. Let her
y'all
finish.
can't
All right,
even
let her finish. Let her
govern
finish.
yourself to get to let a point be spoken, whether you agree with it or not.
You got it, Robbie. Go ahead.
So, like how I was saying, y'all act as if people don't get divorced. Y'all act as if every single parent household is just a woman that's being wanton and full of abandon and just busting it wide open for everybody and just popping out all these kids. Do single parent households not come from divorce? Oh, I forgot y'all blame women for that too. Like everything, y'all blame everything on women instead of just looking at humanity for what it is. To err is human and to forgive is divine. This is why we all have free will.
You know who
All
says
those
stuff like
talking
that?
points is just feminism.
I
Feminism
heard for the
talking point. You
longest.
see, everything she said right now in her terminology is what feminism have sold to us while we were in college. Hey, ma'am, remember that all of us went to college. And in college, we knew the problem from attending humanity class because that's where we saw most of this problem. In that humanity class that has to do with feminism, that's when we mostly men knew that we are in trouble, that the world is in trouble in humanity class,
This is
because that's where
crazy,
most
bro.
women are highly enrolled. They are highly enrolled in humanity class. Men to women ratio is almost 9 to 10. That's 9 to 1,
Oh,
8
that's
to
your
2.
assumption? That's your assumption?
No, that's what we saw, and that's why I dropped that class because I don't know what the hell I was doing there.
Oh, is that
But
what
guess
you
what?
took in your
But guess
humanities?
what? But let me tell you something. Let me tell you something, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it this way,
Mm-hmm.
there is a reason why when you come to the village square in the community meeting, right, women are excluded and men have those conversations because it's a serious matter. It doesn't need emotions.
So where are all
We
the
don't.
men?
Let me finish,
You're
ma'am, so you
you're
can see where I'm coming.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why we do that is because that is where logic is discussed. And it's for the purpose of the community, because if something goes bad in those meetings, the whole community fall apart. So you have to take things like this very serious. It's not where you come and play games. It's where you come and determine the future of your children.
Right.
Because the
And
problem today is that women are not taking this serious. You know why? Because if you mess up, you get rewarded. If you mess up, there is a fat check out there waiting for you so you don't end up in homeless place. You can literally pay $200 for a $1,500 apartment. You get rewarded for that as long as you have a child. But we don't get rewarded for that. We face life consequences.
okay.
So that is why you see this as a game. We don't. It's
I do.
serious.
I do.
Yes.
Well, let me hold on, because you've made a lot of assumptions. So let me clarify for you. First of all, I come from a woman that did not give birth to children until she had education and she was 26 years old, which in turn encouraged me and inspired me, because my mom always told me that education was first before I had children. So I didn't have children until the age of 32. I didn't take any courses on feminism in my humanity class. I took courses on social issues in the United States of America. Now, what you said was the men in your village, they take their leadership role. They take it up high.
I didn't say my village. I said in the village.
Oh, in
So
the village, your village, whatever. in the global community, right? Y'all
Yes,
men are constantly
exactly.
right. Y'all are constantly saying what women are doing and the benefit that women get. But guess what? Women cannot have children without a sperm, right? They can't have children without men. So I just want to know real quick, when are y'all men are going to start having leadership to stop having sex with women, stop having unprotected sex with women, stop creating children with women,
Guys, please don't answer
especially
this. I'm going
when
to
they're
answer this too.
going,
Okay, guys,
when they're
nobody should
going,
send this. Let me answer this.
especially since y'all feel they're going to have so much benefit. Where's the leadership? Because y'all stand up to pee and y'all are the
Okay, let me
leaders.
answer. Let me answer
But
this. What you just said.
anyway,
Let
like
me
I
answer this real
said,
quick.
I
Let
gotta
me answer
go.
this real quick.
Y'all enjoy
Okay,
the
you got
rest of your show.
now you want to run, but let me answer to the rest of you. What she just said right now is bullshit. You know why it's bullshit? She said, "Where are the men?" When she was, guess what? The men that don't want this, the men that want to have kids with the reasonable women, they want to choose you. But because they didn't want to choose you, you went and choose a pookie, a lower level man. Because the high level man will not want you to have his kids. That's the problem. So because you can have that child for the high level man, and the high level man looked at you, knowing fully well that you were coming from a single mother, right? He didn't want you to be his wife because you didn't demand marriage from him. So what he did, he said, "No, I don't want you." But because you wanted a child so bad, you went and have that child by pocket. And what did you do?
Wait.
You came back to blame the high level man of the situation.
Hold on.
Come
Hold
on,
on.
man.
I'm gonna get dirty, folks. Let me just say this. Ekene, stop. She was just disingenuous, period.
That's
Right?
what I'm
I mean,
saying.
but not for the reasons why you said. The reason why it's disingenuous is because women control access to sex. The ones who don't want to
100%.
get wait a minute, wait a second.
Women do not
The
control
women
access
who
to
don't
sex.
want to get pregnant, they don't get pregnant because they don't let nobody stick their Johnson in them unprotected.
That's not it. Women
Period.
control the access to
Unless it's a
pregnancy.
criminal,
Women do not control the access to sex.
they do control access to sex.
Oh,
No,
bro,
they don't.
Are you
man,
gonna
come
Women
on,
be kidding
bro.
me?
control the access
Come
to
on,
regret.
dog. Come on, bro.
You
Come
said
on,
access to
All
dog.
right,
what,
y'all.
30
Before,
folks?
Come on, dog.
let me get
Come
that.
on,
Let me get these super chats read before we get into it. Raw B,
man.
we always appreciate your input. You know, you come up here to
Yeah,
trigger
get
the
your
hell out
ass
of us.
back up here, man.
Yeah, don't. I didn't. I went to go get a leotard for my baby girl. Came back, you was gone.
Sound
All
like
right.
leotards.
$20. Not all mothers are the same. Some women were raised by mothers that poured into them, and some were raised by mothers that were weaker. Lumping all women into one category is ridiculous. Stop having kids young, period. No, I told you why I disagree. But I
Man,
appreciate that super chat.
This is
And that's my sister. I mean, look, when I say
yo,
she's still on her square,
okay.
and I will say this
this.
on motherhood in general, and the one thing that I might have even gotten from her as dialogue is that I got to remember that not all women became single mothers from hoeing in the streets.
Yes.
Some women were married. Some women did get left. Some women had to leave an abusive. So that's kind of the side she on. But I want her to come back
There's still
jump
some
on that.
questions I got, Trigger Mike.
Yeah,
Okay, was the mom married?
Questions
You
about
got
that
the
married
sperm?
young.
Was the sperm a donation from frozen eggs, or did you have a husband when you had your children? There's some missing puzzle
Hold on.
pieces.
My
Let dirty
sister
folks
Robbie,
get out.
bring your
Let's
ass
get
back up
dirty
here.
folks out the way real quick, please.
All right,
Because he about to be on some ignorant shit. So let's get him out the way.
They are terrible mothers.
Please.
All right, let's go hear from our new people. Dirty folks, you got it, and then we're gonna go to embracing the grace. What you got on the topic?
It's not ignorant, man. I just hate to hear they say women control the access to sex, because women just control the access to regret. Because if you let them tell her they all got forgotten dicks, I believe that they control the access to pregnancy and childbirth, and they do a horrible job with that. I don't really take too much for granted anything they say with clothes on, but I did want to say this: when the conversation is disingenuous, once the conversation becomes about anything other than the conversation. So once people start talking about, man, education and travel, and I got to get my money, it takes away the pair bond, right? It takes away the Stockholm syndrome, the struggle bond. There was a time in which, and women have always wanted the best men, whatever that best man was, whether it was an army man, so they moved that way, or whatever the case may be. I don't begrudge them for looking for a man for provision. But every man though, like y'all act like they looking for Pookie and Ray Ray. They have Pookie and Ray Ray too, but they also have Inky, Trigger, Mike, me. They don't discriminate. They just have abortions by Inky because he looks like he might want to be a dad. But they don't really.
Oh,
Women
shit.
really don't care about their body like
Wait.
that to have control of the assets of
Wait,
sex.
say that again. Say that again one more time. I thought I was tripping what you just said. Say that again one more time.
I said, man, they'll have sex with everybody. They just have abortions by men that want to be fathers, and they keep the babies so they can do bad by themselves. I don't necessarily. One thing Inky said that, and this one made me come up. He said that men have penalty.
Damn.
That's absolutely true. Men suffer
Yeah,
penalty. Women don't suffer penalty, but women can only do what men allow. So if women do not suffer penalty, that's men's fault. It's not men's fault if women had kids, because women don't control their body, but they do control birth.
Dirty folks, right? Put it this way. Do you know this is not a fight between men and women?
I didn't say it was. We talking
No. I'm not going against you at all. This is not a fight between men and women. This is a fight between men and men, but using women as proxy. So there are men that put women in the front.
I agree with that.
Yep.
They use these women as proxy war against masculine men.
I agree with that.
So this man can't get to those men without going through the women. So what we're trying to do is to pull the women out and tell them this guy don't mean well for you.
That's where I disagree. I agree with you. Proxy war using women as tools, men versus men. This is my thing. Women have no accountability for anything because they don't suffer consequence. So it can't
because those men protect these women. Those men protect these.
No. It don't matter why. What I'm saying is, but they don't. We agree they don't suffer consequence. So that means that anything they do, they're like our children. It's your fault. No matter what she does, it's men's fault. They've said that all the time. Everything's men's fault. So if it's men's fault, it's men's fix, and nothing they say really matters. Because everything they're talking about, they had to do naked. So if they got clothes on and he's talking about it, it don't matter. Men have to figure out what it is that men want to do, and women will follow what men do. The problem
already been doing what, bro.
The decision.
We've already been doing that though. That's the problem. Yo, listen, we've already been doing that. You got dudes that's out here handling their thing. They being fathers. They want to be fathers, and they get treated the worst. Okay? You know what I'm saying? We sit here talk about leadership. We show women how dudes move. This, that, and the third. They don't want. Listen. They just want to do what they want to do. Now there are some women. There's some women who will get up under that ruling. Respect to them. But majority of these women in 2023, bro, they use these dudes. They use these dudes to get pregnant, and then after that, nothing matters.
I agree.
Any decision he try to do, like yo, you can't. That's why I'm just saying.
Black men don't have kids under the age of 60. So it's like 65% of black women get pregnant by 4% of black men. They sharing men, so they don't care about that.
Oh no, they're sharing dings.
Right.
Oh,
but
we already knew that.
Right. I mean, they share everybody. That's my point. They hit 100%, but 4% get to have a baby.
Everybody here that's saying one dude on the block and got 3 or 4 of the females pregnant. Sometimes even at the same time.
And I agree.
So we see that. So
you know what I recently realized we need to factor into that? We need to factor in the false paternity.
That too.
The high rate that could be as high as 30% of false paternity, then it's really women having
Trigger Mike, it's up to 40% now.
You think that'll change if it's mandatory paternity?
Yes.
No.
Absolutely.
No. But what do you think would change with mandatory if mandatory paternity is like by now, let's just say we wake up, maybe a year from now, and the new law is, hey, you know what? If you're gonna file for all this child support or you're gonna get all this government money, you need to name, this parental person needs to be on a document that says this DNA
they do that
is
now.
His, right? Mandatory.
Now, bro. But
they're not. It's not federal, number one, and it's state to state, number two, right? But if it's broad sweeping, it changes a whole dynamic. That's all I'm saying.
No, it doesn't.
All
they'll say is
it may not change their behaviors, but it it will change how they have access to certain incentives.
Well,
Which
EBD, it would only work. It would only work if they also changed the law that when a woman's married to a man and has a baby by another man, he's not responsible.
Right.
Yep.
That law
That's the
almost.
main one.
But that
That's
goes
the
along.
main-
That goes along with
I
mandatory
got-
paternity. That goes along with mandatory paternity test.
I
DNA
gotta
test.
tell you
No,
guys.
no,
I gotta
no,
tell you guys this.
no.
Right? Mandatory paternity doesn't fix this problem. What's her name? Wife podcast just said right now.
Mm-hmm.
She actually nailed it. But this is what is going to fix these things, because no matter what you do, it's not going to change the attitude. It's not going to change the character of humans. The only thing that change the character of humans is by you hitting their pocketbook. When you go after people's pocketbook, that's it. Now we're having conversation. If you take away the reward, I'm coming. If you take away the incentive that women get for having kids, and you say no child support to anybody, no child support, you take away child support, girls close their legs.
And guess what?
Period.
Control
Because guess what happened, right? That's what I'm saying. They control access, because if you guess what, guys? If you remember before 1965, women weren't having kids out of wedlock because there was no incentive.
Right.
As soon as incentive came, right, all the legs got wide open.
There was shame.
So once you go after pocketbooks, right? Shame cannot stop people.
No. I meant back in the day, back in 1960. What you were saying?
They were shamed. Yes, they were shamed. Yes, that's correct. But that was the shaming part. But guess what? They still shame today.
Right.
But they don't care, because there is something called financial reward. Financial reward will make people do anything to get to that money. Even if you like, if you take $500 million and put in the middle of a pond and put a crocodile fist around it, right? I gotta tell you, a lot of men and a lot of women will not go through that fist, that trap, right? But sizable amount of people that will scare you will go through it because there is a financial reward.
Right.
But if you take away that financial reward, right? I'm coming. If you take away that, go ahead.
Who else thought that he was gonna say single mothers will go get that shit done? I thought he was gonna say that. Hey, but hold on.
They'll turn into Crocodile Dundee, making some skin boots, leather, purse, all that.
A regular man and a regular woman won't go get it, but single moms will go swim to that shit.
Oh, they would. They have
I thought he was gonna say that shit. But let me get the new person. How you doing, Embracing the Grace? How you doing? Is she frozen? Oh no.
Embracing the Grace. You there?
Nope, she's there. She's there.
She's there.
She's there, but I don't think she has any.
Embracing Grace.
Okay.
Talk.
Hi,
Hi, I'm waiting because I don't like to talk when other people are talking.
No worries.
You can't hear me speak if other people are speaking.
I got you. So I'm gonna get you to answer the next question we got up first. All right. So the men are gonna be quiet because we've been we tone this masculinity down. It's a lot of testosterone in here. All right. What are some behaviors modern mothers that they believe are good but are actually bad? If you can.
Well, the behaviors that modern women do that think they're good and they're not. One is by keeping the father away. Just because he's not providing financially, that doesn't mean the father can't provide emotionally and physically. And you use the child as a check and as a pawn, and that's not cool, because mentally that destroys a child. Okay, if you can't afford one and you can't afford two, why are you having 3 and 4? And look, this does not apply just to the Black community. It applies to the brown, melanated, white, polka dot, Martian, because I get too much pushback on my channel. I don't have no business speaking about these issues because I'm not Black enough. It's not really a Black issue. It's a human issue.
It's a Western issue, for real. You're right.
You know, and then I hate when I hear ladies say, well, men ain't shit. They're not leaders. I turn around and ask them, but who raising these men ain't shit? Who raising them? We're producing what we don't want. We're not taking accountability. We spend so much time and energy blaming men for our problems that we need to turn the mirror and look at what we're doing and take accountability for us. A woman has 34 forms of contraceptives, where a man only has 2 or 3. A woman can only get pregnant if you allow the man to impregnate you. Okay? The man specifically tells you, I'm not ready for a baby. I don't want a baby, but you're still out here getting pregnant. And then you want to cry about it later. Now you want Mr. Nice Guy to clean your spilled milk. Yeah, I'm coming in hard, guys, because I take this personal. Because, and let me tell you when I see it the most. I coach basketball. I make sure that I get the number of the mother and the father, because the mother will purposely not give the father the schedule so the kid can't come, so the father can't come see his kid play. So I make sure that everybody's involved, and it's sad. It's really sad. And women, y'all need to take accountability for y'all bullshit and embrace it. That's it.
Coming in hot.
Yes, girl.
Embrace. Hold on, Embrace. Hey, salute to you. You said some of the mothers literally changed the schedule so the father won't come to the game or anything. Like, is that real? That's true.
Yo,
Yeah, that's real, bro.
that's real.
Salute,
That's crazy.
salute to embrace the grace.
Yo, that is.
She dropped the
I
mic
know
too
They
many
will
times.
purposely not give the
Jesus.
child, they will not purposely give the father the schedule so the father can't come to the game. She'll bring the boyfriend, but she won't let the father come see the. So I will. Sometimes I will pick up the child from the father's house because the mother won't take him to practice. I'll pick them up.
No, that's
Told
real.
y'all.
Man.
It's sad and it's getting bad, guys. And we as women need to do better. Stop blaming the men.
You know what? To
See,
piggyback on what
I
you
told
said,
you this is really
Excuse my
indicative of
language.
what I was saying earlier, because so many women, if this is the
You
sequence
are
of events
pardoned.
that's going to happen.
Yes.
Women struggle to be great moms outside of wedlock. They struggle to be
in
great
wedlock
moms
too, really.
without help from family and even remarriage or the help of another man. They struggle to be good moms. But the second we press them on it, they're going to start crying and breaking down, talking about how they need help, how life is hard, how there's so much pressure on them. But this is not even, like I said again, not to disparage women. This is to acknowledge the fact that at the bare minimum, you need to be starting this thing out in wedlock. And if you're going to carry a child to term, you need to concern yourself with that institution, because it's when women have help and they're covered on all bases by the community, by their husband, by the people who are their basketball coach who's gonna come pick them up. These are the children that literally will further society after we're gone. Every other kid is a liability, or some of them are going to turn into thieves or men that just go around making more versions of what you created, but you're going to complain about them. So I like what you said, embrace the grace. That's
Yes.
actually what we need to hear. And Raw B, I don't know. I feel like you feel that, so you might want to come up and give your part of it. But we're gonna get anybody else who wants to speak on this.
I just wanted to piggyback on something she said, because this is graduation season where it just passed. You know how many of my guys didn't get a graduation invite?
Oh my God.
Like this so common, and then girls like, oh, they did be something. Look,
didn't get a to their child's graduation.
Yeah, to their kids' graduation.
Oh my God.
I mean, bro, this is so common, bro. I mean, I don't even understand why people are, oh, he tripping. This is an everyday occurrence. The fact that y'all listen to him with clothes on, y'all look. At the end of the day, women have the access to children, not necessarily the access to sex. Because men have to talk to them in order for them to be in that position. So men make the first call whether or not. Women have the solicitation opportunity, I guess. But I mean, their whole top drawer is fake men parts, so they don't really care about their body like that. I'm just saying, bro. Like, anyway, but yeah, what she said is true, man. It's a lot of. Here's the thing: if you want to be a father, you will not.
Damn. Dirty folks, God
So,
silence you. I don't know what you were about to say.
Yeah, I
you
know.
know, but Trigger
Thought it was
Mike,
my
The
phone.
Lord wasn't
they
having it.
don't believe that there's people out here they don't believe that men is going through that. They only think it's a small proportion of men that go through
I'll
this.
be a
I'm
father.
like,
They
you
don't think
know,
men have feelings.
yeah, they don't believe none of this stuff is happening. It's just for makeup. Oh, it's just a small, but no, it's a lot of dudes that's out here that's getting beat. Some of these dudes out here ain't seen their kids in 10 years.
Exactly.
You
I
Exactly.
know
think
what
I,
I'm
th-
saying?
I, th- I think they know, but it's just that many of them are the ones actually doing it. The ones that say, "Oh, that doesn't," they're actually the ones doing it. You see
Oh,
what
well,
I'm
that's
saying?
true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so many of them that they just don't like the fact that you're saying it.
I
You
mean,
see
this
what
is
I'm saying?
the worst thing about this is that I think we've already covered it. If you want the U.S.
No, what
government,
Chris was
some
saying
people,
earlier told the truth. I was saying it
Wait,
earlier
hold on,
before.
hold on. Mike, Trigger Mike was
All
talking.
right.
so people keep thinking that the way if the U.S. government did this, it must be the way they want it, and it must be what's best for the United States. First off, the U.S. government, trust me, anybody's ever been in the military knows this. They will never admit that they actually did it wrong. They will only create fixes that end up exacerbating the problem, and you know what I mean. So and remember, we take advantage as humans of things that were supposed to be used for something else. Remember, welfare and shit was for white women. Because this had nothing to do with black people. Black men were not necessarily the ones leaving it. It was white men leaving their wives that started this whole mess in the first place. This was a white person's issue. Then the cosmopolitan woman narrative, they started selling it to black women. And then black women started tripping. So when you look at it now in the state that we have where women think that they're the ones who get custody of the children because it's better for the child, there is now credible evidence to say, well, look at our society. It's all gone wayward. Having the mother raise a child is not in the best interest of the child. So I always say that now the way we look at it, once again, I advocate for full advocacy. I'm sorry, of dads. Any woman that wants to complain, any woman that thinks we're complaining, go drop that kid off at that daddy's house. And the chances are he won't even ask you for child support. He won't. Most
Yep.
men don't ask for child support. So don't be worried about that part. Okay? But drop that kid off at that dad's house if you worried about it. But I bet y'all don't want to have that discussion though.
Well, because
Trigger
Mike,
Mike, look
they
at it this way.
won't want to lose the child support. Whether the guy asks for it or not, women keep the kids because they want the
Yeah.
child support. And just to dirty folks, the distinction you made that women don't control access to sex is a distinction without a difference. No man is sticking his John.
Trey
No
said he
man is
asked for
sticking his
child
Johnson in a woman without her permission. Period. Unless it's a criminal act. So
Look at Trigger Mike, look at it this way, right? The black woman, you said that that the issue was the white woman's issue, right? And then Cosmopolitan magazine sold it to black women to join. But guess what? The black woman's beauty aspiration has always been a white woman. The black woman has always
white man.
seen. No, a white woman has always been the black woman's beauty aspiration. She always wants to look like the white woman. You see what I'm saying? She take clues from the white woman. She wants the white man for fame, but she always go to the white woman for beauty, because to her the white woman is the beauty standard. But that is not the beauty standard for the black man. It's the beauty standard for the white man. A black man beauty standard has always been a black woman. You see what I'm saying?
For the most
It's
part,
always been a black woman for the
a natural black
99%
natural
natural looking black woman has always been a black man beauty standard. But they don't. But the thing about it is this: the black woman for many years doesn't see a black man as somebody she will try to entice, but somebody she would only have sex with. She's always seen a black man as a sexual object, and it's very bad. Not all black women, but most parts they say they don't ask us what do we like in a woman. They prepare themselves for what a white man likes,
Right, they do.
not what a black man wants or likes.
Yeah.
Because I'm not interested in a black woman that is bleaching herself or putting on makeups. I'm not interested in that. As long as she smells good and all her body smells
All
good,
animal
that's all I
products.
care about. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, Mr. Ikene,
I,
All
Mr. Ikene,
BBL.
hang on, do you think that we live in a state of confusion when we see black women who are trying to emulate white women with their hair and this and that and contacts and dyeing their hair, and when white women are trying to go to the doctor to have the body of black women? And the speech
okay.
and the vernacular and the big hoop earrings and this and that. Like white women are trying to go to the doctor to get the body of black women, while
hold on.
black women are getting their hair
EDB, I'm
and
gonna
the
break.
eyes and the nails.
EDB,
You see what I mean?
I'm gonna break.
No. Let
EDB,
me
I'm
get in
gonna
there real
break your
quick.
mind. I'm gonna
Let me
break
get
your
in there
heart.
real quick though. Hold on. Let me get in there. So the one distinction we have to make from that is that white women do that to be the object of desire of black men. So they're doing the exact opposite.
That's not true
of
though.
what black women are doing.
What?
White women want. Listen, y'all have not noticed that every famous white woman wants black dang. So she wants to.
That's true. That's true.
She wants to be the object of desire of a black man. White men can't stand that, and black men can't stand the fact that black women keep trying to make themselves the desire of a white man. So it is a perfect.
So the difference.
Well, I mean, women are vessels of.
They all want the BBC. Am I lying? They all.
Hold on.
I just think it's a state of confusion, right? Nobody's happy. Nobody seems to be happy with who they are.
I'm trying to answer that question. If they finish, I'll answer you the question.
Hold on. It's not a state of confusion. How? Like, think about it. How is it that everything that black women want today, every other race of women can get in college, but ours is still running around doing the same shit that they've been doing for the past 15 years?
What do they want?
They doing this. They literally doing this because they want to do this on their own. If they want to be married and college to a good, solid man, they could. But instead, they go out to get these fake ass surgeries,
bro.
And even though they got a great family, like we just saw with DC Young Fly, child's mother, who had a great family, 3 kids, the whole 9 yards. Even though we as men don't agree with that shit, she still went out and did it.
Okay. Women live comparatively to other women. That's number one. Number two, black women don't want marriage. That's why they decline 2 marriage proposals in their 20s. They don't want marriage until they 40, competing with their daughters, talking about all the good.
Well, then they shouldn't complain. Then they need to stop complaining.
They girls, they complain about everything, bro.
Yeah, but the lady Raw Baby, she said her mother told her to live her life, get her education, and travel, be well this, well that, and like you said, the delayed, gratification, and now you don't really have that many options to the men that had to come up and are high value men. You're stuck with the people that, whatever. So then they're bitter.
Yeah, they act like this shit. They act like they don't see these elderly women that's in their 40s who's telling them to wait till their 40s and get married. They ain't telling them about when they got to come home and put the pillow between their legs and crying and all that shit and all that other shit. Like, yo, this shit is crazy. But they want to complain. No,
let's not forget they spend thousands of dollars on BBL for nothing.
I got a cousin right now who I had to tell my wife, yo, you need to have a real conversation. You need to tell her it's done. She should have took this.
Which one?
The first one. Her cousin. I told her she need to have a real conversation because her cousin is 38 or almost 40 and got no kids. She's so desperate that she literally trying to get impregnated by a dude that continues to say, I'm not ready for kids.
Yeah.
I don't want kids.
Yes.
And I told her, yo, you should have took that shit serious when you was younger.
Hey, Trucker Yale, I'm getting ready to put out something on Lolo Jones. Her story. Same exact kind of thing. She's 41 now. And it's a lot of little nuances to what she says. And she wants to give a message to young women, but it's still based on her broken mindset. So I got some stuff I'm going to put out on that because there's going to be a lot of women in her that when they're 20 and 30, women have, foresight. I'm not foresight. Your hindsight or whatever, not foresight, but they can't look ahead. Like
Yeah.
they have insight, but foresight is tough for a lot of women.
Okay, insight.
They can't see themselves when they're 40 years old. And even if they say at 30 they don't want any children, when that door is really starting to close, that's when they start getting that say, wait a minute, what have I done?
Listen,
Or what am
Mr.
I doing? And so
Yeah.
they get desperate, So there's
Yeah.
something about that what you
Listen,
just said
let me
about your
tell you.
cousin.
Freezing stuff.
Hold on, Mr. Rich.
Yeah.
Literally,
Yeah.
my college girlfriend from maybe our second date up until like on and off, we're messing with her for 7 years straight. I don't want kids. I don't want kids. I don't want kids. I don't want kids. The second I'm no longer an option, and she's 30, yeah, would I get married? 31. She's 30 years old. Her last ditch effort to try to get me to remove me from my engagement, mind you, not from my engagement, is why do you have to marry her? We could have had our own family. I want to have your baby. I was like, oh my God.
Oh,
Literally. Are
Run.
you crazy?
I can answer that one, Trigger Mike. You had an engagement ring, didn't you? I got a fake wedding ring. Look, black women love to break up families. They really want to be sister wives, bro. It was the ring, bro.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? You can't be single,
Wait.
bro. You gotta
all
be
sister
married.
wives ain't like that, sir. Just let
No,
you know.
let me
All
tell
sister
you. Let
wives
me
are
tell
not
you.
like that.
Let me tell you what's valid about what he just said. Because little do y'all know, I actually told my wife this happened because I'm like, all right, I don't know what's gonna happen. I got so shook. I ain't gonna lie. I thought she was about to like show up at my wedding in Jamaica and start some shit. That's how crazy these text messages were that she was sending.
Investor. That's hilarious.
So I just told her, I was like, look, I don't know what's about to happen, but she flipping her lid. And I think my wife said something like, you know what's funny? As a woman to woman, I don't think this is about you at all. I think I'm affirmation that she lost and she can't just have you back when she want to. And I was like, damn, that's deep.
Hey.
She don't even want me like just same way we would be getting together and breaking up and have all the issues we used to have. That is exactly what would happen if I'd have broken off with my fiance at the time and got back with her. The same shit that always happened 7 years on and off. It is just the fact that she could not have me no more. And me being married is the affirmation of that. That's all she wanted. She just wanted to break that shit up so she could win. She just wanted to win. She didn't want to lose. So I feel what you're saying on that one.
Yeah,
Let's get final thoughts from everybody because now I'm the one that got to take my daughter to cheer. So
women live comparatively and competitively, right? They compete and compare themselves to other women. They compete with everybody, men, women. They want you to compete. You know what I'm saying? That's why they promote your fight. And they compare themselves to other women to the point that it used to be if girls wore the same dress, they want to fight in the club. Like silly. Men have never done that. Like, oh, you got Jordans on too. Anyway, the thing is that women really need that competition. Like they say they just want one man, but they don't mind being a side woman. But it's a weird thing. Like nobody wants you until you have somebody type of thing. You can't get a job till you got a job type of thing.
Pre-selection. It's called pre-selection. It's how women choose the man, right? My mother, when she first saw my dad, he had a woman under each arm, and that's how she knew I need that dude, and that's how I got here.
But that's only fair because women have no discernment. They have no intuition. They only have hindsight. Like everything y'all say about women, I'm like, y'all know it's really the opposite. Like women will talk. Women really need another woman to forge that path, or a man. You know what I'm saying? It's normally supposed to be their dad or something, but they don't listen to their dad either. So they need somebody else to select for them because girls have horrible discernment, right? It's not that they don't have good men in their life. Y'all know them because y'all be like, y'all good men in the friend zone. They sleep with them good men too. They just have babies by men they can control because they have no discernment. And they like, if you give a kid,
I have to
right?
absolutely agree with that, sir.
If you give a 4-year-old child, right? Because I call them all toddlers. If you give a 4-year-old child the option between Brussels sprouts and candy, what you think they'll take?
Anything and candy. They'll take candy all the time.
So
I don't know. The
imagine
be hitting sometimes. Go ahead though.
It'll right. With cheese on, I guess.
With some garlic and olive oil, bro. I'm saying.
That's the way I cook them.
Imagine you have a man, right?
Well, sugar's addictive.
Yeah, it is. Imagine you have a man, right? And the man's only job is to tell you, not even that you can't have candy, but you have to eat your Brussels sprouts first. And you have an option to say, forget dude, because either that dude or that woman or whatever will give me candy without having to eat Brussels sprouts. Now, when you get sick and your teeth fall out, don't worry about that because that's not going to happen until you're 40. But right now, while you're in your prime, forget those Brussels sprouts. But I'm going to say one other thing. When y'all talk about what black girls want to have white girl features and white girls want to have black booties, whatever the case may be, even though I just think white girls finally found seasoning and their booties just grew.
Yes.
The
Some of them are naturally thick. Some of
They
them are
go to the gym
naturally.
too, and
Yes.
they know how to
white
work
girls
it.
now look like
Why you
black
think
girls
we
looked
on here
in
trying to tell
1990.
black girls to fix their behavior? Because they got natural ass now. What you
Yeah,
gonna do with a woman that's elegant, and feminine, and got natural ass? Oh God.
yeah, white girls look like black girls did in the 90s before they all decided to be obese. So
Ooh-wee.
what ended up happening is the only people that could really stop a black woman is a white woman. It's not white men. Like y'all like the men, the women are the proxy war between other groups of tribal men. But the only person that can stop a white woman, I mean a black woman, is a white woman. And that's historic. Black women run white men. It's only Becky that can stop Keisha. So
Ooh.
it's just true. So even that competition.
Oh, they ain't gonna like that one.
Hey,
Yeah,
you can't fight facts, bro. You can't fight facts.
Just to wrap it up with a final thought.
Oh,
I
no.
don't think-
I agree with it. I'm just saying they not gonna like that.
No, I got you. I
I
got you.
know. I'm saying they can't
got
fight
you.
facts. They can't fight it.
I got you. But just to wrap it up, because I know Mike can't stay forever. But just to wrap it up with a final thought, I'm gonna keep it quick. I don't think that modern women are bad mothers. It just depends how they've been raised by their predecessors, their other generation.
They've been raised by their mothers. Now what?
If they're raised by their mothers, right? Or if they actually hold traditional values to where they're more interested in the family and raising their kids and having a good outcome rather than just their selfish needs or their happiness and things like that. I think it depends on what that woman takes pride in. Does she take pride in what she wants and her accomplishments and making herself feel good, or is she more invested in the future, meaning she raised good children, she has a good family, and she has a good man to where it's more of a long-term thing. She's content, satisfied, and happy and proud. All of these things come in the long-term investment rather than some short-term gain or some short-term high. So I think that's the separating line between whether a modern woman can be good or bad. What does she value? Does she value just herself, or does she value everything that isn't about her? It's about her family and what she really has to pass on. So I'll just leave it there because that's kind of like short and sweet in how I wanted to put it.
Bet. Anybody else got a final thought on this?
Yeah. So final thought is this: the black woman, yes, can only be stopped by the white woman. But both white women and black women are mostly interested in satisfying the white man. I'm sorry to tell you guys this, because if a man of your race is telling you, singing to you, I don't want this, I don't want that, and you're not doing it. If you're telling your wife you don't like the way she dress, and she's not dressing the way you told her you don't want her to dress, that means she's dressing it for another man, period. If she's not doing it for you, she's doing it to get another person's attention. So long hairs, those big boobs and BBL thing is for the white man, because the white woman find out that the white man likes the black woman's body. So she started doing it. Then the black woman wants to be in competition with the white woman. She doing it more. You see what I'm saying? So they're both in competition to get the white man attention. You know why? Because they both know that the white man has the money. It's all about the money. Who has the money is who the women go for. So she believes that I'm sorry to tell you guys this: black men are not producing enough jobs. They don't have companies to compete out there.
Okay.
We don't create jobs. So the person that creates jobs, the person that pays, the person that has the paycheck is the person that both women dance for. If black men start creating jobs tomorrow, start owning global corporations, guess what? Black women will now start dancing to the beat of the black man.
I don't.
So let me just add this at the end. So what you said, first of all, this whole thing about black people and even the middle class guys somehow becoming these master entrepreneurs is absolutely ridiculous. It's not going to happen. No matter how much women want it, there's always people who are going to regress to whatever the mean is. And most people in the United States and the West are employees. You know, so when you start hearing women say they don't want men who are 9 to 5, they want a scammer, they want this guy and that guy, you know, or they don't want to date a bus driver and all that shit. The people who the engine of the society, the middle class man, those people are just out of kilter with reality. You know, and so it's nothing. I don't know how you solve that. And I agree with you, Ekene, about the black woman's obsession. They're obsessed with. They're so not all black women, but they have an inferiority complex when it comes to white women. Period, and they can't get over it. And so the weaves, the eyelashes, and the only thing I disagree with, I think they came up with those shit encrusted fingernails all on their own. You know, so I can't stand that. I mean, even wild animals, claws,
encrusted.
even wild animals can retract their claws. When black women walk around with those freaking claws out, they look like monsters. You can't. They don't retract. They always look like they're on the attack. You know, so you can't smile at a chick and she comes up with those big ass, you know, I'ma kill you claws things like it's something out of Freddy Krueger and shit. I don't know what you're gonna do. Now, how could you have a normal conversation with a woman whose fingernails could jab you in the goddamn eyes if she's
what
mad
you
at
do
you?
is run her ass over. You run her ass over.
Jerome
Jerome Bettis style. That's what you do. Run her ass over. Jerome Bettis style. That's what you do.
All right, y'all, I gotta get out of here. We're gonna talk about Zion Williamson tomorrow and this how this dude got
straight up.
All right, y'all. I gotta get out of here.
All right.
Appreciate y'all for coming through today, man. We'll catch y'all tomorrow on the Trigger Mike Show. We got one super chat here. Rose says, had to donate to what Embrace said is so true. That was fire dialogue. Thank y'all for coming through. Short show today, but thank y'all for always being faithful and coming through. We're gonna talk about tomorrow. Zion Williamson out here tripping. $200 million contract. He out here knocking up Bottomless Prime and then I can't believe it, boy. But appreciate y'all for coming through. Shout out to the sponsor, Teach Hanley. No show tonight, but tomorrow is the big show. All right, Lapeef, let's talk. So make sure y'all set your stuff up to be on that show, and I'll catch you next time. I'm out. Like the video on the way out. Y'all are atrocious with these likes, but I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Have a good day.